I have to say I was shocked at Mr. Starmer's comment last night, weaponising words while putting farmers up against the NHS. Have a listen.
Trying to achieve working for everyone, that's what we're trying to achieve, or do we want to keep a tax break for farmers? But you can't have both. Do they prefer their waiting lists to come down? Do they want their mortgages to come?
Well, let me tell you, Mr. Starmer, yes, I want the waiting list to come down. Now, I'm paying 40% tax, and I'm not paying 40% tax because I'm a farmer, because the profit in this job is tiny. The return on interest on what we do here is about 1%, but I've got other businesses and that's where I make my money. So I pay a lot into the system, and I'm happy to pay that into the system as long as I get value for money. And that would be that money going into the NHS, going into the educational system, going into building homes for people in Great Britain. But what I'm annoyed at is the money that is going into that pot. Millions going abroad to sustainable farming schemes. Well, look, sustainable farming schemes should be here. You should be backing the farmers in this country. And when you're telling everybody that you're giving them that 5 billion, and the Conservatives before, that money didn't come into the farming industry. How much of that money goes into administration and into red tape? Come on, let's be honest with the general public, because every single one of the general public are paying taxes in this country. Yeah? And number two for me, and this is very, very important, that we need to be looking at everybody that comes into this country. Yeah? The immigrants. Anybody that comes in this country must be putting something back. They must come into this country and they must work, they must pay tax. We can't afford to be putting everybody in hotels. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous when we've got people in the UK on the streets. They can't afford to pay rent, they can't afford to go into houses. You've got people in food banks. Now, food security for me is one of the main drivers, and you should be protecting us farmers going forward. And you're not. You're taking money away from family farms, the people that are feeding you. You're biting the hand that feeds you, and that's a big mistake. And I want to ask the general public, what do they think of Mr. Starmer and how he's treating the farmers, the pensioners and the businesses? Because I'm telling you, the private sector can no longer keep a heavy public sector up and buoyant. And we don't mind paying taxes as long as the taxes are spent in the right places on the right people. Let's build a better Britain together.